So Mirror of the Ice Bear is a really interesting card as it's seen a lot of play in the side deck historically. It's definitely a weird card because the power creep has been absolutely wild the past couple of years. And now, unfortunately, the older techs are kinda becoming obsolete compared to the newer ones. But to be fair, even though there is some truth to this, it's still no excuse to disregard the older cards. So this quick play spell card can be used proactively during either player's turn. And it's going to be punishing your opponent from the hand, field, or graveyard whenever one of your cards get banished by an opponent's monster effect. Basically, every single time that happens, you will be dishing out double the damage to your opponent. That is pretty sick. But there is a catch. Or rather, multiple catches. So first of all, this card only functions when your cards are getting banished off of your opponent's activated monster effects. So yeah, if you're getting hit by Call by the Grave or Ice Dragon's Prison or stuff like that, this card's not going to be doing jack shit. However, you can banish 2 cards your opponent controls if one of your cards is getting banished by Fenrir. And again, like I said, this card only functions on activated monster effects banishing your cards, so it's not going to be doing too much against Dark Law and the continuous effect of a Rise Art. And another catch with this card is that drawing multiples is not really good. The effect doesn't stack, so for example, if you have 2 Mirror of the Ice Bearers and one of your cards get banished, you're not going to be banishing 4 cards your opponent controls. Man, that would have been so nice. Oh, and the last important thing to know about this card is that if 2 of your cards are getting banished from the exact same location, you can still only banish 2 cards from your opponent's location. However, if a card gets banished from your hand, field, and graveyard, you can do the exact same to your opponent. So funny enough, if you get hit by Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, and you use Mirror of the Ice Barrier, you can double Trish your opponent. I think that was done on purpose. I mean, it's an Ice Barrier card at the end of the day. Now, let's try to evaluate this card objectively. If one of your cards would hypothetically be banished off of your opponent's Fenrir and you chained Mirror of the Ice Barrier to banish 2 cards your opponent controlled, you would have lost your card to Fenrir and you would have used Mirror of the Ice Barrier to make your opponent lose 2 cards. So in other words, you're trading 2 for 2. It would make for a break-even trade, which is good, but it's not insane. It doesn't target, it doesn't destroy, so obviously it's really high quality removal, but again, it's nice to go +1. Especially going second, like you really need all the advantage that you can get. Now, you really start getting a lot of value when your cards start getting banished really quickly. So for example, if your opponent goes Rise Art and Fenrir to banish 2 of your cards, then you can banish 4 cards, and this is where it becomes really, really nice. Now, even though this card is a quick play spell, and it does have the flexibility of being utilizable when you go first, it's not usually that great. You're typically only trying to play this as a go second card, and to be fair, there might be some better options. Like, are you really going to be side decking this over like Book of Eclipse, Triple Tactic Talons, Dark Ruler, etc.? And also, when you're going first, are you really going to be playing this over Anti-Spell, D-Barrier, and other Floodgates? Yeah, probably not, huh? Now again, I'm not saying by any means that this card cannot be a blowout. This card used to be insane when Burning Abyss was a thing and Beatrice was sending Farfa to banish her monster. You would chain this and then banish your opponent's Beatrice and you would probably just win the game there. And now that SP Little Knight is coming out in Age of Overlord and kinda does the same thing that Beatrice used to do back in the days, we might be able to abuse this card a little more. But the question is this card playable in the current format? Well, obviously it has applications against Kashtira because it's really good against Fenrir and a Rise Art. And it can be decent against Mirror Jade because it does banish. It's also not too bad against other decks like Exorcister and ABC, although really niche. But it's probably still not worth it because it's really bad against Purely, against Unchained, and again, it's really reactive and very, very specific. It's the kind of card that doesn't really do anything unless your opponent plays into it, which I'm not a really big fan of. You can kind of argue that Nibiru is also a card that only works if your opponent plays into it, but it's a little more natural to play into Nib than into this card. But the main reason why I'm making this video is to help you understand the existence of this card and also allow you to identify when it might be good in the future or not. Again, it's really old and has been ignored for several years, but it might become broken again. We never know, we can always hope though. Anyways, that's all I had for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and let me know your thoughts about Mirror of the Ice Bear in the comment section below. And I will see you guys very, very soon. Peace.